The coronavirus has us on lockdown. We have some new merchandise for you. And there are 3 former number 1 picks still out on free agency. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. Sorry for the 1 or 2 minute late start there. I pushed the go live button on the Facebook page, and apparently that go live button is not the correct one. It's the bottom one at the bottom of the page that actually makes you go live. So I had no idea why that happened. So, Chris says, hoodie looking slick. Appreciate that. Yeah, this was made for me a couple of years ago as a Christmas gift. And if you all know me, you know that I like to wear like triple extra large or double extra large in my hoodies. And this came out as an extra large, which I'm not complaining because it still is a very nice hoodie. It's just not as baggy as I would normally like them to be. Hey, so first, tonight, we'd like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple-target dart board. Unlike the traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategies of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, at league tournaments, and as a leisure activity in the comfort of your own home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Let's see who's all out there tonight. Chris is out there. MJ says, nice hoodie. I think I just saw Cheryl pop up, but I'm not sure. It's not acting the same as it did last week. Or the last time we were on 2 weeks ago. It's acting really, really funny. Well, good evening to everybody who's out there right now. Hey, also, we would like to say, or should I say, they say, an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. Listen to our partners, Josh, Eric, and Brad talk fantasy football on their podcast, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings and projections with a whole lot of comedy. They released a show on Sunday titled Free Agency Part 2. The reason it was part 2 for them and the first time you're hearing about it is because we weren't live with a normal show last week because we had our draft selection show we're going to talk about here in a little bit. And they give us a very nice plug about that defunct Dynasty draft selection show. So go find them wherever you listen to your podcast and subscribe to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast, and also follow them on all their social media. They can be found at Empty Wagon FF, and you can see it right there on the screen. Bill III on with us, and Cheryl says she is there. How are both of you tonight? If you like the show tonight, please like, share, and subscribe to us here on Facebook. Follow us on all of the social media outlets you see there at the bottom of the screen, and then we're going to talk about the way you can start following us and subscribe to us on Squad Locker on YouTube. We are going to talk about Squad Locker tonight. But before I get to all of that, I think he's out there right now. Brandon, if you're out there, give us a wave. That way I don't waste this with you not being there. So give me a wave first, then I'm going to say something. So, hey, let's talk about the defunct Dynasty draft selection show that we did on Wednesday. If you didn't get a chance to see it, you can watch a replay of it here on Facebook, or you can watch it over on YouTube. And we'll tell you how to do that here towards the end of the show. Brandon said he is waving. Everybody say happy birthday to Brandon Gums. And Brandon is actually going to have a super little special highlight here on the show, the next button down from when we're at right now. So happy birthday, Brandon. I think he told me today he's 24, 25 years old. I don't remember what you said, Brandon. You have to remind me and remind the listening and viewing audience how old you are today. So the show for the Defunct Dynasty Draft Selection show we did on Wednesday, show ended up being like 57, 58 minutes long. I know Brandon did a little bit of editing to it before he put it up on YouTube, so depending on which one you watch, it's roughly about that long. Because it was, or we are doing the defunct teams for our Dynasty theme. We started off the show doing a parade of each one of the teams and telling a little bit of history of where they came from. Very interesting part of the show, so make sure you go out and watch that. And then we began the process of the selections, and during that time, if you've seen us do this before, if you haven't, you'll understand what this means when you go out and watch it here in a little bit, that we had 2 start overs during this thing, and the first one was already frustrating enough because I think we only had like 2 or 3 empty spots left on the board. And then we had a second one we had to start over, which wasn't as bad because we didn't have as many teams on the board at that time. But to still have 2 of them in one, and some of them don't have a restart in them at all, was really, really surprising. I think it's probably because of the new way we're doing the rolling this year. But that is the draft order that you see up there on the screen, 1 through 12, for our Defunct Dynasty draft that will be happening. We will start that the Monday after the NFL draft. So we will start ours on 27 April because the NFL draft, I think, is 24, 25, 26 or 23, 24, 25. I'll say when it is a little bit later on here in the show. Let me see if I've got it on the script, and I'll tell you for sure when it is. So we will start ours on the 27th, and the NFL draft is taking place between 23 and 25 April. All right, so we said happy birthday to Brandon. Brandon says he's going to be 37. My mistake. He sure looks like he's like 24, 25 years old. He is 37 today, but we have to thank him for the new products that you're about to see. When we said we had new merchandise at the top of the show, you're about to see these new products, and we can't thank Brandon enough from Finger Lakes Mercantile. They're also one of our sponsors this year, but he is the one that brought these to life for us, and you're going to absolutely love these. Some of you might have seen these on social media already, but you've seen the coasters that I've showed you on the show for the ones that he did with me with Walter Solo on there. He asked me the other day for our more crest-looking logo right there, and he said, let me do something for you with those. So he created another set of round coasters for me with that logo on it. Not only did he do them in round, he also did them square. And there's the set of 6 with the tray that they will come with. And in addition to that, he made 2 sets of dog tags for us. One of them, the silver with the black in it, which is just awesome. And then the other one is the black with kind of like the gold inlay to it, which is equally as awesome. So if you would like to order any of these or any of our retro products, which include our hats, t-shirts, cups, keychains, lanyards, and our coins, go over to shop.flmstore.com and you can pick up a set of any of those things that we just showed you and any of the old retro merchandise on that website. All right, let's get into some NFL free agency. And before I started writing the script for this week's show, I didn't think there was a lot because we put out a lot 2 weeks ago when we had a normally scheduled broadcast. So we didn't do any of the regular news that we would during the Defunct Dynasty draft selection show. So I thought, well, there can't really be that much, even though, yeah, we've been kind of, off the radar for the last 2 weeks, and so has the rest of the world been off the radar for the last 2 weeks. So when you hear this list, you're going to be super surprised of all the moves that have happened in the last 2 weeks. Some of these maybe you have heard. I grabbed everything that I thought might be important to both the redraft and for the Dynasty because for those that know, the Dynasty is going to be 12 teams and 28 roster spots deep. So it's well over 300 spots that we have to fill. So there's a lot of names that are going to get put on teams. So let me run through this as quick as I can. Lions add ex-Packers wide receiver Geronimo Allison. Chargers sign wide receiver Darius Jennings. Chiefs bring back Demarcus Robinson on a 1-year deal. Green Bay officially signs wide receiver Devin Funchess to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. Giants bring back tight end Eric Tomlinson. Eagles pick up Alshon Jeffrey's option. Greg Zuerlein, the kicker, gets a 3-year deal from the Cowboys. Philadelphia picks up Zach Ertz option tight end for them. Redskins add more depth at wide receiver by signing Cody Latimer. Vikings replace Stephon Diggs after he went to Buffalo with wide receiver Tajay Sharp. Jaguars sign tight end Tyler Eifert, who recently played with the Bengals, to a 2-year contract. Panthers nab Robbie Anderson for 2 years, $20 million. Jets signed Brashad Perryman as Robbie Anderson's replacement. Redskins add Peyton Barber in the running back into the backfield's depth for the running backs, in case you didn't know. Falcons sign wide receiver Laquan Treadwell. Colts released vet quarterback Brian Hoyer, and then the Patriots signed him. Raiders bring in Nelson Aguilar for a 1-year deal. Saints add vet slot wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. Most of you probably heard that one. Vikings re-signed kicker Dan Bailey to 3-year, $10 million deal. And some big names here that you definitely had already heard. Broncos signed Melvin Gordon to a 2-year, $16 million contract. The Steelers give Eric Ebron, tight end, a 2-year, $12 million deal. And the Falcons sign running back Todd Gurley. Lots and lots of moves that I just mentioned. Football related, but not really player related as far as on the field stuff. Because of all of the pandemic that's going on with the coronavirus, Drew Brees and his family have committed $5 million to help the Louisiana area recover. I looked at a map tonight. Somebody gave me an address to look at, and it's updated every couple of hours on where we're at as far as a country and a planet on the virus, and I did not realize how hard Louisiana was getting hit. So thank you to Drew Brees and his family for that. At the top of the show that I mentioned that there are 3 former number 1 draft picks still out there on free agency. They are Clowney, Jameis Winston, and Cam Newton. So they are still out there. And if you want to get a really good report on where our empty wagon guys think that at least Jameis Winston and Cam Newton could end up, go listen to last week's show. Very, very good insight from those guys. All right, so we've mentioned it a couple times throughout the show now. YouTube, we have a channel. We are going to continue doing our lives here on Facebook. We're going to stay on Facebook and also upload these videos onto YouTube all the way until we get to the redraft draft selection shows, which are going to happen on April 1st. We will do those still live here on Facebook, but if you want to watch a rewatch of them, you're going to have to go over to the YouTube channel. So go over to YouTube, search Fantasy Sports Alliance, and subscribe. We now have 35 subscribers on there, but for us to get a custom YouTube channel name, we need to have 100 subscribers. So please go over there, push the subscribe button so we can get to that 100. All right, so our next broadcast, we are going to be sticking to our every other week theory until the NFL draft, which means we will be off next week. We will be back live on 15 April, which is tax day. And then we will be on every week after that because the very next week is the 22nd of April, which is the day before the NFL draft. So we will start doing our weekly shows from there. Depending on what's going on in the world of the NFL, though, at that point, if OTAs are not going to happen because the virus is still causing stoppage, we might stick to the every other week. But we will go every week once there is some normalcy back in the world. The last thing we have to mention tonight is Squad Locker. So if you would like one-of-a-kind merchandise for your fantasy football teams, whether that is redraft teams or the Dynasty teams, please come up on the net. Let us know that you would like a Squad Locker store, and we will get one started for you. And that was kind of the reason why we decided to do this defunct Dynasty League, because we knew that those old teams' logos are not copyrighted and trademarked anymore. So we should have no problems putting Squad Locker stores together for you and having those done for you. And wow, 15 minutes, and that was even after a little bit of hiccup. So we're probably really only like at 12, 13 minutes. That says 14:27 in the corner, but I don't know when that started counting. I don't know if that counted my mess up or if that started counting whenever I started going live on my end. Before we get out of here for the night, though, I would like to thank all of our 2020 sponsors, our new sponsors. Already mentioned Brandon quite a few times tonight from Finger Lakes Mercantile, and happy birthday again to you, Brandon. Southern Siren Sugar Scrub and their owner, MJ Cooley. She's on with us right now. Thank you for being a sponsor with us in 2020. To our returning sponsors, Football Darts and their owner, Jonathan Davies. for returning as our broadcast sponsor again this year. Nature Coast Tailgating, their owner, Brandon Valinka. He is our world champion sponsor this year. Of course, our partners at Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast, Brad, Eric, and Josh. And, of course, the Recast and Armando Gutierrez and the rest of the boys, the official music of the FSA. You probably saw a slight little change to the intro video this week as we got their album art in the corner for their actually new released album, which is called Devastator. That song that you hear at the beginning of the show is titled Full Throttle. Wherever you like to download your music, go out and find the Recast and their album Devastator. Go out and watch the video for that as well. Great video, got to watch that. I think we shared it up on our website as well. So make sure you go out and give that a view. And while you're at it, let the videos play. At least every time I've gone out and watched the video, their song Zombies Everywhere pops up. And you'll see a little guest appearance of Walter the Wizard inside that video. For those of you that are newer to FSA, probably in the last year or two, who have not seen that video, make sure you go out and watch it. You see a guest appearance by Walter the Wizard on it. And thank you to the Recast for putting that in there for us. Oh, wow, I did not realize we were scrolling this much. Jason says, happy birthday, Brandon. Cheryl says the same. 26 days, 25 days actually for you. Are you talking about when we get ready to start the defunct Dynasty draft? Yeah, that will start at 6 a.m. on the 27th for us with a Birmingham Iron the first on the clock. Cheryl says that the new merchandise is awesome. Chris says, do they ship? They will ship, but Brandon, you got to remember, Chris is overseas, so we'll have to figure out how that goes. Probably not a problem for you. That would be my guess, though. Let's see. Robinson deal makes me wonder where Watkins will end up. Also agree. Brian, did you hear that Myles Garrett got reinstated? I did not hear that. And you know what? With all of the changes that they've got going on in the NFL right now, that doesn't really surprise me. Yes, we got it. You know what? I never thought about that. Well, but Mondo, you got your own merchandise line. You've got oh God, I want to say Cold Cock, but Cold Cock is the whiskey. Who does your apparel for you? You got those guys that can do that. God, why can't I think of what the name of them are right now? Don't make me have to go over to my closet and pull out my Recast t-shirt real quick. I know you'll tell me here in just a second if you're still out there. But absolutely. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing. Oh, also, I think I mentioned it last time. Great interview that you guys did. If you got a chance, I'll stay on here long enough for you to type it in there too. Type where everybody can hear. Athena on with us. Hey, Athena, what's going on? If you can type in the information of where they can go out and listen to that interview with you guys. And I'll stay on that way you can get that information out there. There you go, Undaunted Apparel. Man, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I kept thinking apparel, and I couldn't think of what the name was. Thank you. So definitely put the information on there so everybody can go out and listen to that interview. New merch coming out with them as well. Awesome. Can't wait to see that. So I hope everybody is staying safe. I talked to Brandon a little bit ago before we went live, working on some new things for you guys. The coronavirus is getting a little too close to home, touching some of my circle of friends. Got me a little worried, especially as I got to go back to work tomorrow for my first time in like 3 weeks. So make sure that you are doing the, I don't want to say the right thing, but make sure you're doing the sensible thing. For everybody that is around you, make sure you're doing your social distancing. Don't go outside unless you have to. Make sure you're washing your hands. Please. Some of these people that recently lost were actual doctors. The ones that are being exposed to it and doing all of the work around it. That was one. Losing family members of people that used to be in our racing circle from when I was at IHRA. Friends of former colleagues of mine from when I was at Fort Hood, their family members are getting tested for it right now. So far, come back negative on everybody who's been tested. And then we just had recently in the job that I've got to go back to tomorrow, we had one of our instructors lose a grandparent recently, all to this. So please for the sake of whatever you believe in. Do the right thing, and let's hope that we can return to some kind of normalcy sometime soon. Mondo says the interview is on iTunes and everywhere else. It's Rock Addict Radio, and it's a recast interview with DJ Rem. So make sure you go out and listen to it. It was a really good interview. I got to find out where the name The Recast came from, which I did not know. For as long as Mondo and I have known each other, I did not know where the name came from. So a real little nice piece of history to go out and hear. So I don't want to leave on a sad note. I would like to say thank you for watching the Fanatically Real broadcast tonight, sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. If you like the show, once again, please share, like, subscribe. Go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button over there, and get us up to 100. That way we can get our own YouTube channel name. You all have a good night. We will see you in 2 weeks. And please, please wash your hands.